Rebels in blue. Obeyde wins the opening tip. We're underway here at the newly refurbished Stegman Coliseum, which has never looked better.
Still got the new arena smell to it as well.
A lot nicer than when you played here.
Yeah, definitely. A lot brighter, more colorful.
Obeyde off the feed from Jackson gets the jump hook shot to go. And that's good news for Mark Fox, who told us they want more production out of Obeyde. As you see the starting five for Ole Miss. Terrence Davis is not in the starting five, but is their leading scorer and will come off the bench for the Rebels. Schuler, the freshman, on a pull-up three, and that is Ole Miss basketball. They are not bashful.
Well, you know they're going to put it up, and that's going to be one of the challenges for Georgia's defense. You cannot try to defend them on the catch. You've got to anticipate feet to feet, straight up chest to chest defensively.
There's another tray off a steal, and cleaning it up is Turtle Jackson, who's been playing some quality basketball for Georgia. Whistle down low, and that'll be a foul on the 7-foot sophomore, Olenichuk.
You saw Georgia back-to-back possessions. Other than that turnover, they're trying to get Obeyde established in the post. And tip of the cap to our producer, Trevor, calling for a big game of Obeyde. And they're going to have to find a secondary, third, fourth guy, if they can, to go to after Yante Maton.
Maton up top. Over to Turtle Jackson. 10 on the shot clock. Hammonds, the freshman, to Maton. Back to Hammonds on the return. 5 to shoot. Hammonds going to throw one up there, hit the side of the backboard. Hammonds, a very talented freshman out of Norcross, who they have high hopes for.
This is what DeAndre Burnett has done so well. Stay under control. You talk about his assist to turnover ratio. Getting his guys the ball where they need it, where they're most dangerous.
Schuler on a smooth pull-up two, a freshman from Irmo, South Carolina. Pass down low to Maton, and that's going to be trouble all day long for Furman Officius. That's a tough matchup.
How about this dribble drive situation? That's Burnett attacking the left side, basically a handoff to Schuler, who is just so good. The balance you have to have. Now, right-handed shooter going to your right, staying balanced, using your legs, the leg strength to still be able to get up and not shoot that short front rim. That takes a lot of work, but all understanding when you're going to your right, you're going to be a little off balance shooting.
Maton off a curl. Jackson barks out the set. They find Maton straightaway three. That's his sweet spot. He likes the three from straight away.
That's the one. That's the one that he's been killing defenses with so far this year.
Three the other way. Rims off, and Obeyde pulls down another rebound. He comes in averaging 5.5. Wilridge.
Got to find a way to get it to Yante in that post. He was by himself in that paint.
And now a whistle on Ole Miss with 13 on the shot clock. The Rebels coming in. They've been a tough luck loser. 3 overtime losses. It's been Heartbreak Hotel for that man, Andy Kennedy, the dean of SEC coaches, now in his 12th year. 20-win seasons, pretty much automatic under the tenure of Andy Kennedy's.
Sharp dressed as ever over there.
Always dapper. Wilridge into Hammonds, quickly double. 6 on the shot clock, finding Maton. Maton going to pull up from 17. And Schuler tears away the rebound. Slow offensive start for the Bulldogs. Burnett leaning into a three, too strong. Obeyde battling, lost it, and the 7-footer beat him on the board. Crawford and Burnett on a reset.
You're going to see a lot of what their own version of dribble drive, really. Just guys attacking, trying to keep that defense off balance. One guy reaches. A little too much dribbling, though.
Turnover on the freshman. Now Hammonds from his backside throws to Obeyde. Jackson on a three. Jackson, he's been their best three-point shooter this year by far. 42%. The team as a whole, just 32. Burnett rise and fire three. Now again, as we told you, Ole Miss not bashful from three-point land.
No, he could not wait. He saw that developing right as he was coming off that screen.
Mate, aggressive, drew a double, nearly walked. Hammonds on a runner off the glass. No. Somebody take a lid off the basket for Georgia. It'll be Ole Miss basketball when we come back. The Rebels
will make big shots at big times. Even though he's a freshman, the challenge for him right now, the offense is so dependent on Yante Maton. He has got to figure out where he can find his openings in the offense and get it in the flow. And that's going to come. As the SEC season progresses, so will he, and finding his ways to get his shots on the offense.
And of course, Maton, a marked man, he's going to see double teams all year long. That's going to be an offensive foul on Breon Tyree, a guy who Andy Kennedy told us he's got to step up his play. Very talented sophomore who played his high school ball with the likes of Towns and Wade Baldwin, two guys that were high draft picks. Of course, Towns at Kentucky, Baldwin at Vanderbilt. There's Harris, one of the guys that we were talking about. Jordan Harris, a sophomore, started the season shooting the basketball about as poorly as you could possibly do it. He's battling his way back.
Well, Crump, Harris are two guys that can come in and give you something offensively from the bench. Speaking of bench play.
How about that one? Markel Crawford, the former Memphis Tiger.
Who started, but what I was going to say was Ole Miss's bench has been the best part of their offense, coming in and giving Ole Miss a punch. When their second unit comes in, there's no drop-off with Ole Miss's second unit.
You are so right. Their bench averaging 31 points per game. And there is the first bucket of the night for Yante Maton, averaging just under 20 points a game.
You know what I love about that? No hesitation. One dribble, straight to the rim. He's going to dunk on you. If you try to contest it, he's still going to try to go over you and finish that.
Crawford on a step-back three. You know, one thing when you watch Ole Miss over the years, that might look like an ill-advised shot, but they are a volume shooting team. Obeyde thunders one home.
Okay.
There you go.
That'll
make Trevor Toll, our producer, happy, as he called the career night for Obeyde.
Obeyde says, what about me, Mike Morgan? Can't you depend on some offense from me? Yes. In fact, he could have a big game today, because what Ole Miss also doesn't have is that interior type defensive guy. And how about my man Yante Maton? Catch, one dribble to the left, wastes no time at all, no wasted movement. Obeyde, good screen, goes straight roll to the basket. Nobody even wanted a chance at touching that one. Couple chin-ups on the rim.
And Crawford, who comes in averaging 11 a night, the former Memphis Tiger, a chance for a three-point play. You know, going back to the original point about the way Ole Miss plays, the one thing about the play this year that Andy Kennedy was very adamant about that they need to improve on, they're used to shooting a lot of shots and getting offensive rebounds off misses. They are actually in the red in rebound margin. They're the second worst rebounding team in the league. That's not Ole Miss basketball.
No, I have a solution for that, though.
I like it.
I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
And I talked to Coach Kennedy about it.
Yes.
So actually, it's his solution, but I'll take.
You can take credit if you want.
You see Ole Miss go into that half-court trap and then back into their zone. Good job by Georgia. Patience. Found the short corner. That's where you're going to find a little spot. Short corner free throw.
86. And I'll never forget, I was alive and watching live when LSU was up 31 and Kentucky came back and won that game. That was Rick Pitino's teams that would just shoot lights out from three. I remember watching the first half. I fell asleep. A friend of mine the next day said, yeah, Mike, did you see it? I said, yeah, I saw it. He said, yeah, how about that comeback from Kentucky? I said, there's no way Kentucky won that game.
Well, the way they could score, yeah, and defend, they could score quick.
Pull-up jumper. Nobody guarded. Jordan Harris says, okay, I'll go 2 for 2 from the field.
So sometimes the best thing to do when you don't have total control of the ball, but you do have balance, is exactly what Harris did. Don't fool around. Don't make a bad pass or a turnover. I'm open, balance, step up and shoot that thing.
And out of bounds, Ole Miss with a rare turnover. They do not turn it over often. They come in with the second best assist to turnover ratio in the league behind Arkansas.
And that has helped them in the last few games be able to get the right shots that they have to get. They're going to shoot a bunch of threes, but they've made more in the last 3-4 games than they have all season. It's because they've been taking care of the ball.
Ole Miss zoning up Georgia. Parker finds a crease. Juwan misses. Offensive rebound. Stick back plus the foul. Guess who? Yonte Mayton.
It's going to be a big challenge for Ole Miss all season. They need 5 guys on the glass every single time. And Mayton, he's just so crafty. He's strong. He's got great hands. Good touch. I mean, what else? What else do you want him to give? He's getting offensive rebound stick backs. He gets to the free throw line. He can shoot the 3. We see him one dribble finish in the lane.
Well, despite that miss, say what else? What he has done is drastically improved his free throw percentage, 85% on the year. What a find for Mark Fox, senior out of Pontiac, Michigan. Strong take and a block by Mayton. One of the top shot blockers in Georgia history. Jackson bumped and fouled, and a foul will be on Ole Miss. Coming up after the up a bit.
Man, you know, you've got to be able to make some shots, because what is that going to do for Georgia? Opens up that lane for Mayton, Obede, driving lane. So to do that, now you see a zone defense by Ole Miss. You got to find it. Maybe Harris will be your guy, like you mentioned, Jackson. You got guys who can. Just got to do it consistently.
Georgia's going to get zoned up a lot tonight by Ole Miss. Going to make them bust out of that zone with some three-point shooting. Here's one of them. Harris knocks it down. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Jordan Harris has already hit 3 shots. 7 points now for Harris.
Credit Hightower there, staying aggressive north-south against that. Get in the gaps, in the teeth of that zone defense, drive and kick. Pretty simple. You'd be surprised just how difficult it is to maintain. Now, it's always the guy who helps you get a shot there. And that was a perfect pass, on time, on target. Harris now 3 for 3. Feed him. Feed the beast.
Again, he got off to a really rocky start shooting the basketball this season, but they need him to gain confidence. Ole Miss right now not playing with a whole lot of confidence, still struggling from the field.
You don't see under the basket, out of bounds layups very often. They just got one and missed it.
Steal on the play by Tyree. Full throttle in front court, takes it strong, blowing by Juwan Parker.
That was like a blink of an eye.
Yes, it
maybe
was.
2-3 dribbles it took him to get 3/4 of the court.
Georgia trying to find a crease in the zone. Parker passed up on the 3 and instead forces up a tough shot in the lane. Tyree, stop and pop, too strong. Mayton had it, lost it to Hightower. Hightower, Mark Fox says, the best pure athlete on the team, sets up a teammate for a 3, and that is Juwan Parker, the only player in college basketball with a master's degree.
Sometimes the way to beat a zone is beat it down the floor. Parker did a great job sprinting out to his spot in the corner ahead of the defense.
Inside of the 7-footer, and a pretty hook shot that time by Olenichek.
What did you say, Dom? I think that's his spot right there. Just gave him another offensive weapon.
And he's a transfer from Drake. Andy Kennedy said we really need more from him. He looks the part. Coming off the bus all of 7 feet. They need a little more production, though. Hightower, back iron. And the rebound to Terrence Davis, who's been quiet thus far. Coming off the bench right now for Ole Miss. Stevens lines up a three. Ole Miss is ice cold from downtown on 2 of 8. Maton.
The big fella, Olenicek, is pushed up a little bit further in the lane maybe than he'd like. But we hadn't seen a lot of what he can do offensively. And, you know, Coach Kennedy is looking for him. Needs somebody that's able to score in the post, in the paint, maybe a little bit further out than you typically want a guy to catch on the block. But it looked natural catching that over his left shoulder hook.
Certainly did. Remember, they lost Sebastian Saiz, who was a guy that collected over 1,000 points, over 1,000 rebounds. He was a guy you could depend on for a double-double nearly every night. So it's a tough void to replace.
You know, Saiz, what he gave you, walking double-double. He was going to give you points in the paint, but he got to the free throw line. Defensively, he protected the rim, protected the paint. You make a mistake defensively on the perimeter, he's there to help clean things up for you.
Herman Avicius with a running hook shot. Didn't know he had that in his bag of tricks.
That was one of those, he just invented that move right there. We just saw it, creativity.
Not sure he's ever shot that in a game before. Obeyde has shot that. He's starting to really perfect that hook shot.
I see a trend. Georgia knows they've got to get Big Obeyde ready. They need some offense from him, so they're going to him.
6 points already for Obeyde and a rare turnover for Ole Miss.
And it's where he's catching it, too. He's catching it close to the rim, under control, couple dribbles to get his balance, just enough herky-jerky in his game to get Herman Avicius off balance.
Mark Fox asking for more. So far, he's gotten more. Just 1 point off his average for an entire game, and we still have a ton of time left in this one. Young man who was born in Nigeria and then lived in London, Sweden, Maryland, back to Nigeria, Maryland, Canada, before arriving into Peach State. That is one busy passport. And Obeyde says, give me the ball. He wants some more. He'll stamp his passport at the free throw line.
Again, great positioning. Got Stevens on his hip. Great entry pass by Parker, I believe.
And that is the third foul on Marcanvis Hyman, one of the top post players and rebounders for Ole Miss. Obeyde not a prolific free throw shooter, 53%. I didn't even have to give you that number. If you just look at the form, you probably had an idea it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, he may travel a lot, but sometimes that jump shot doesn't travel. But
they changed the foul. It's not going to go against Hyman.
Okay, well, that's a good thing for Ole Miss, because if there's anywhere where they're sort of thin is in the post.
That was a heck of a play by Bruce Stevens, a former junior college All-American. He'll have a chance at 3 the hard way when we come back. Georgia combined 2 seniors, 2 really likable young men that have been a treat to follow and cover just as an SEC fan. Going to be a whole lot of fun on Monday night.
Are you telling me every time he touched the ball, he was good for 16.5 yards?
That's a good average. That
every
is a
time
good
he
average.
touched, you go, give me 16 and a half.
That's right.
Give me another 16 and a half. That's how to go up strong, but I think does that count as 2 blocks? Does each player get a half a block?
I think they got to give it to 1. We can't split that up like we do sacks.
We'll give it to Edwards then.
Okay.
Edwards setting a record, shortest shorts right now in the SEC. I appreciate it. When you can see the spandex, they're taking it back to those
old school
LSU days you were talking about.
John Stockton would be proud. I know that much.
You would.
Rebels now 2 of 9 from behind the arc. 6-point lead for Georgia with the basketball. And Edwards almost lost it. Parker on a blow by.
Great
Parker blocked. Nice block that time by Bruce Stevens.
I'm going to rethink that one dribble pull up off the backboard.
Euro step, strong take, no. Offensive rebound, yes, for Ole Miss. Urban Avicius fires up a triple and hits.
Yeah, we talked about it, Mike. You cannot wait on the pass to get out to any of these Ole Miss shooters. You've got to anticipate that. It's too late. Once they catch it, it's too late. Because they're quick catch and shoot guys, all of them.
Maiten not on the floor right now for Georgia. Who steps up? So far it's been Obede. 7 on the shot clock for Jackson. Jackson lost it in traffic. Loose basketball. Scooped up by Parker. Out of bounds. And a shot clock violation. Great defense that time by Ole Miss.
Great swing pass. Edwards just comes down. Hand too late. And you know what happens? Get an inch. You give most of these guys an inch. They're going to put it up now. We know they're going to put it up. It's just going to take, it may take halfway through the first half for their shots to start falling. They will fall.
That's just a simple blow-by DeAndre Burnett, one of the top point guards in this league. And then a travel on Georgia, the Bulldogs' 5th turnover. Ole Miss on a run, making it a 1-point game.
The ability to make threes opens up that lane, and Burnett took advantage of it.
7-0 run for the Rebels with a basketball. Tough shot by Schuler, off balance. Rebound, and almost a stick back, knocked around, and Obede finally reels it in. Ole Miss already with 7 offensive rebounds. That is Andy Kennedy basketball.
That's right.
Parker throws it up. Maiten had to tightrope the baseline and throws it away. Here come the Rebels off and running. Beautiful reverse layup by Schuler, the freshman. He put it in high gear, and Ole Miss just took the lead, 24-23.
So impressed with him. Just no fear. He's got great hands, first of all. Strong hands. You saw him there. Active hands to get that steal. No hesitation of him going straight to the basket.
And an offensive foul. Did they get Maiten down low, trying to post up?
Young fella, staying active. Just be in the right place. Alert. No hesitation. Nice little head balance. Getting up over the rim. He's got to impress you today. I hadn't seen much of Schuler. Heard Coach Kennedy talk so much about him and how impressive he is.
4-star recruit out of Irmo, South Carolina, right near Frank Martin territory there in Columbia. Well, Ole Miss now on a 9-0 run. Georgia's turned it over its last 4 possessions. And Ole Miss in the spirit of giving it right back.
Maiten has had some opportunities. I saw some action where I absolutely love him, and looks like they may go back to it again. When he catches that ball on that elbow, he can face up. He's got that. He can shoot it. One dribble. And now they see a mismatch, though.
And a hoop in the horn for Yate Maiten, who says, come on, feed me. There's nobody on this Ole Miss roster that's going to be able to guard Maiten one-on-one.
Big fella, getting the position, staying with it, that strong hands you saw there. And the combination, I think that was DeAndre Burnett, who's doing a great job, obviously, coming off his defender and trying to poke that through. That's all you can do against Maiten.
Second foul on Firmanovicius, and Maiten knocks down the free throw. That'll give Georgia the lead back, 26-24. Crawford, guarded by Wilridge. To Davis, who's been quiet so far. Shot clock now to 8. Here comes Davis. Gonna fire up a 3. And flying in for the rebound is the freshman, Claxton. Claxton feeling it. His old man didn't take many of those jumpers. Charles was a big setter, much thicker than the youngster.
It's part of the new game, though.
Yes, it is.
Everybody's coming out of high school shooting that 3. Everyone loves a shooter, you know that.
Absolutely. Tyree on a crossover blow by. Beautiful move by Breein Tyree. That's the glimpses of brilliance that you see every now and then. They just need him to be more consistent.
Boy, he found a crease there, and again, that's because the ability to shoot the three. That defense is spread out near the three-point line. A great move, a great balance.
Nice backdoor cut. The slam and the foul.
It's a little bit too much. You can kick for the three. That hasn't happened. You get a couple of drives, straight drives to the basket.
Etorian Wilridge, a 6'6 junior from Beaumont, Texas, trying to complete a three-point play. And does so. Dogs up by 3. Now Georgia going to go with a little zone. Lob pass inside. And that was a walk. Ed Sermons caught it. Bruce Stevens shuffled the feet before letting the shot go. 7th turnover on Ole Miss.
And that's what the switch in defense is going to give you. Give him a different look. The offense gets used to a steady diet of one defense. Change it up, make guys get uncomfortable, catching spots that they're not used to scoring from.
Wilridge. Mayton is just shielded by Stevens. You can't even see him. And Georgia in a wild shot. Deontay Mayton is going to see a lot of those kind of defenses this year. He is a man with a target on his back. As Ole Miss gets another point. A bucket in the paint. 28-29 now, 1-point game.
Terrence Davis showing a little bit of the respect that he can shoot it now, but he's so strong that one dribble to the baseline with a little soft floater.
Wow, what a game thus far for Jordan Harris. Harris with 10 points to lead the way. 4 for 4 from the field. Jordan Harris trying to get rid of that shooting slump. Davis puts a dent in the backboard.
You can tell he's struggling. He's trying to figure out what can I do to get back where I was. Sometimes you put a little bit too much pressure on yourself.
Baseline stuff for Deontay Mayton.
He's so good at feeling the body. Where's the defender? That time, Hyman went for the steal just a little bit. Was able to keep him on his hip. And then once he has you on his hip, it's over. Finished.
Mark Fox says of Deontay Mayton, not only is he one of the best players he's ever coached, he's never coached a better kid than Deontay Mayton. Gives you everything you want from a leader standpoint. Meanwhile, Tyree giving Ole Miss what it wants, another three-pointer.
See how valuable now that Ole Miss bench is. Talked about how they account for 35 points. Nothing better than having second unit raising the level of play. We talk about how Deontay can score just about anywhere on the floor, and there he's able to use his body because he's just so good. Get him on the hip. One dribble to the basket. Hyman's not going to make that mistake again. I guarantee you. There is no advantage in trying to go for a steal because then you're just going to give Deontay Mayton a straight line to the basket.
You know, if there was a good way to defend Deontay Mayton, you'd think somebody would have figured it out by now. I mean, he's basically been one of the most targeted players in the SEC the last few years, and yet he still is one of the most productive players. So no matter what you throw at him, he's going to find a way to get his.
And that's a testament to he's been able to expand his game. You want to double him on the block? Okay. Well, I can pass out of that. How about now I'll go to the top of the key where I can be a high-low guy. I can make that shot. So it's a credit to the work that he's put in.
11 points for Mayton. The lead for Georgia is 5. Ole Miss with another quick 3. And another miss. Wilridge, good box out. Jackson around a ball screen. Jackson throws up a teardrop. No. Tapped around. Mayton somehow comes up with it. And another chance for a three-point play.
Of course he does. Ole Miss's inefficiency in the paint, defensive rebounding. You see a lot of white jerseys there. Although you do see a bunch of Ole Miss jerseys. Maton with his strength, his great hands, able to take the bump and finish.
Saw more arms near the basket than an octopus, but you knew number 1 in white was going to come away with it. 14 now for Maton. And a timeout called by Andy Kennedy. Georgia up by 8.
These coaches know it. They've been saying it for years.
Right.
Nationally now, everyone's starting to catch up how good the SEC is.
It was a big year for the league last year. 3 teams in the Elite 8. And if there's one thing I think everybody can agree on, the league is better this year than it was last year. So start doing the math on that one. And you're looking at a league that's going to easily have more than 5 bids, maybe as many as 7 or 8. Shot clock down to 5. Leaner, an air ball fired off by Burnett. Georgia can play for the final shot, and the Bulldogs will. Jackson on a step back launch 3. No. 1 second left. That will not count. As the first half comes to a close, a half dominated by Yante Maton. He has passed Terry Fair and is now in 9th place all time at Georgia. He's going to finish top 10 in scoring, top 5 in rebounding, top 10 in block shots. I mean, he's going to have his name all over the Georgia record book. How about a block shot right there by one Yante Maton?
Well, again, what doesn't he do for this team? And they're going to need him to continue to do that and more. It just really all centers around him. They go as he goes.
Maton sets a solid screen, gets it back on the return, and feeds Obede. Back to Maton, blocked. And it squirts out into the hands of Ole Miss, off and running. All the way is Schuler. Boy, he's got an extra gear, doesn't he?
There's no doubt. Tyree and Schuler, both of those guys have shown the ability tonight, whether it's a steal, whether it's a defensive rebound block, you name it. They can take it from one end to the other, but as quick as we've seen in a while.
Quick guards, and there's the response. Turtle coming out of his shell. Jackson on a 3, and it's a 9-point lead.
You've been waiting for this guy to step up and make some shots. What he has been this year is the most vocal defensive guy. He's the guy that's been sort of their defensive quarterback out there, pointing, directing, getting everybody in the right spot.
First basket for Jackson. Ole Miss misfiring on the other end. Georgia ended the first half on a 16-7 run and trying to start off the second half on a good run, but Wilridge delivers one airmail.
You had Schuler ahead of the pack. I thought Crawford would have given it up to him so he could tack again as that Georgia defense was on their heels.
Out of bounds to Ole Miss.
When you look at Ole Miss, too, 31 points in the first half. 4 assists, 7 turnovers, okay?
Yeah.
They're averaging almost 18 per game. Got 4 assists. Now, credit Georgia's defense, some, no question. But I think what the key to them in their success offensively is the ability to share the ball. All 5 guys being a threat. Defense doesn't know where it's coming from.
Roman's trying to get a good look. Strong take and a foul called. Markel Crawford aggressive to the basket, the 6'4" grad transfer from Memphis.
He's a guy that's got a little bit of everything in his game. Shoot it, handle it. You saw right there, he knows what to do in a situation where he's got to get something. Shot clock running down. Let's get to the free throw line.
He leads the team in minutes played, over 30 and a half a night. He had 900 plus points as a Memphis Tiger before transferring.
And how about this, Mike? As you missed that. That's their 4th free throw today. Ole Miss team that made a living in the past on the free throw line. I'm talking about led the country in free throws shot per game.
Well, they're so aggressive. Ordinarily, you see Ole Miss living at the free throw line. Ole Miss is really, I mean,
Long shots, long rebounds.
Long shots, long rebounds.
We know that's the rule.
Fortunately, a lot of long misses for Ole Miss.
But they're getting good looks. You saw right there, Crawford had a good look on that in the corner, and Tyree, as it on that offensive rebound, stepped into it.
This is Parker. Finds Obede. Busy in the first half and picks up here in the second. Good night at the office for Derek Obede, now with 9 points.
He's finding his rhythm, almost his purpose in this offense. Everything is centered around Yante Maton. I think guys have got to figure out on their own how they fit, how they can be a part of the offense and give. Someone's got to step up for Georgia. If not, a couple people would be nice.
It's that smooth running hook shot. Olanichek.
How about that? I have a feeling I'm going to see you going to him for some tips on that running a hook. We've seen it now from almost to the free throw line in the first half.
It works a lot better when you're 7 feet as opposed to 6 feet. No one's blocking that thing.
Oh, not even close.
Maton with the left hand. Obede top floor for the rebound. Sets up Willridge on a 3. And then Maton was fouled. Hermanopoulos got caught with his hand on the cookie jar.
Obede, he knows that big wide body. What am I going to do? Set a screen from a guy, and I'm going to roll. Great catch and balance. Almost a little Zach Randolph sort of off balance. Flipped it. And then, how about Dong? Second time we've seen him, third time actually, in this game, in his ability to go over his left shoulder, a little right-handed hook. Olanichek. You didn't think I knew. You didn't think I knew. I was testing you.
I thought you're just going to go with Dom the rest of the night.
I know him personally. I can call him by his first name, you see. You got to get to know him. He's teaching me those sky hooks.
My life would be a lot easier if I did know him. Absolutely. Save myself about 5 syllables. Ole Miss basketball. Davis on a launch. And an over-the-back foul. No. Foul called on Maton. Well, Maton whistled for the foul down low, battling for the rebound. That's his second. Yante Maton, one of the things we asked Mark Fox about is how much faith he has in the senior staying out of foul trouble. He says he really understands now how to play when he does pick up early fouls, so he doesn't worry too much about Maton getting to the point where he's actually going to foul out of a game. That's huge for a guy you have to have on the floor to be successful. Logging over 32 minutes a game. Strong take. No. Boy, there's been a lid on the basket for Ole Miss here in this second half. Georgia up 8 with the basketball. Willridge up top. Parker.
Right there. I love Maton right there. Just turn, look at the basket, now attack that one dribble we saw he's got in his toolbox.
Maton got stripped and picks it back up. 7 on the shot clock. Pull up by Parker. Rebound by Olanichek. Inside. Quick shot the other way. No. This has gone ice cold.
Everything is challenged by Georgia. They're having to take tough shots and not make them.
Davis fouls Claxton. He'll be at the free throw line when we come back. The Bulldogs trying to pick up to see.
And they've had, Monk and Jamal Murray.
Yep.
They've had guys where they can make and take those, be willing to take those shots, but make them when they have to.
Claxton at the free throw line. The 6'11" freshman from Greenville, South Carolina. Son of Charles Claxton, the former Georgia center from 92 to 95, who was an all-SEC performer. Ole Miss just 2 for 10 from the field in this second half.
They've taken a lot of contested shots.
Yeah.
Georgia's done a good job of cutting off driving angles like that and getting out to the shooters.
And there is a stick back, and that is more of what Ole Miss is used to. Offensive rebounds and stick backs. That time Stevens cleaned it up.
We saw in the first half Ole Miss shooters who were able to catch it whenever they wanted, basically, be able to catch and shoot, and that's what they'd like to do. Georgia's challenging now, making them put it on the floor, and then challenging them at the rim.
Claxton wheels, deals, and gets it to go, plus the foul.
That's just a glimpse of what he can do. That's scary. That's scary. That length, his ability to catch it top of the key, just give it a little bit, get Stevens off balance to the right-hand spin, and then throw it over with the left-handed hook.
Ceiling is high for that young man.
It better be, man. He's 6'11". He's going to be hitting his head.
6'11" and long. 10-point lead now for Georgia. That's a tip-in. I could not see who got it. It was the largest lead for Georgia, now cut back to 8. Crawford gets credit for the basket. Every shot you see 3 blue jerseys crashing. Sometimes hard to see which hand gets the tip in. Offensive rebounds really keeping Ole Miss in this game. They have not done much else particularly well tonight. They haven't shot it well. They've turned it over more than usual. Not getting a whole lot in the assist department. But as long as you can continue to harass people on the offensive glass and make your money there, you've got a chance to still win a game.
Well, you know there's always going to be something to eat on the offensive glass. If they don't run a play for you, hit the glass. If your shot's not falling, hit the offensive glass.
That is a foul called on the shot with the buzzer sounding. So that is a cardinal sin in 2 areas. You fouled a jump shooter from behind the three-point arc, and you foul him with less than a second left. Why and why? Well, the answer might be Devontae Shuler's a freshman.
That is a young fella mistake right there. You did your job defensively. That's what you want to do as a defense.
Juwan Parker, great stories. Young man out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's over 350 Division I schools, so do the math. Over 3,500 players, if not 4,000. He's the only one with a master's degree. He got his master's degree in sports management after receiving his bachelor's back in December of 2015. His bachelor's was in finance. He gets to wear the SEC graduate patch and wear it proudly.
Taking advantage of his years on campus.
His game's come along quite a ways, too. He's really improved, averaging over 7 points a game. Ole Miss has only gotten to the free throw line tonight 4 times. And still ice-cold shooting from outside.
Yeah, they found some of those holes when Georgia has trapped that half-court trap right there. They have found some holes in that defense. Couldn't make them. And then credit Georgia. I thought in this second half really got out to shooters. Were able to contain their guy, keep their guy in front of them on that dribble. We'll call it a dribble drive offense from Ole Miss.
So Mark Fox yelling. He's not yelling at the officials. He's yelling at his team about rebounding. They've rebounded the ball well this year. He got a +7 rebound margin. He was yelling specifically at Ogbede. He expects Ogbede to be a guy that averages 8-9 rebounds a game, not 5.5, which is what he comes in averaging.
Well, he's got the body for it. He's been around long enough to learn how to get his body in position. That just, a little crafty, wily veteran type things that you get with minutes played.
Three ball from the corner. And an air ball from Harris. Shuler weaving. Shuler. Look at that finish. That is unteachable. That is just a fifth gear that very few players possess.
Yeah, that foul on the three-point shooter, that's a teachable moment. That right there, like you said, you can't teach it. That's just instinct, ability to hang and get inside the defense and finish. Head up, look at that. Head up, aggressiveness, getting where nobody else could get to, increasing that defense.
It's not as if he blew by a couple of 7-footers. Those were 2 guards that he just left in his tracks.
It looked like they're standing still.
And there's a steal by Schuler. Schuler igniting in the front court, and that time Claxton hustling all the way, says return to sender.
Parker's going to wish he shot that when he looks back at that film. Schuler, though, he's got great hands, just active hands everywhere, alert on defense. Credit Claxton with the hustle.
Tremendous hustle by Claxton. 5 blocks for Georgia tonight. And out of bounds, it'll be Georgia basketball.
Claxton showed a lot of versatility on the offensive end and the defensive end, chasing down Schuler, who is not an easy guy to chase down, by the way.
Not at all, especially for a kid who's 6'11". Parker, a pull up. Claxton battling for the rebound and comes away with it. Great minutes tonight for Claxton. Jackson on a 3. Tapped up Obede. Offensive rebound and the follow by the big man.
Ability to get extra shots, that was something else that Obede can bring to this team. Get them extra possessions on the offensive end.
11 points, 5 rebounds for Obede as bodies fall. And we will head to a timeout with 11:25 to play. Point game. Ole Miss, with the way they can run on a spurt, this is far from over.
Oh, they can put it together quick. There's no question. The speed, especially with their guards getting up and down the floor, too.
Georgia breaking the pressure well. Set up in the front court. Hightower up top, finds Parker on the wing. Around the screen from Maton. Parker on a pull-up. Left it short. Good look. Burnett's been quiet. A step-back 3. I mean, those are really difficult shots, Pat Bradley.
Those are tough shots. And, you know, shots that we've seen him make, there's no doubt about it, but it rhythm shots. And it's, I think if you come down and maybe you've made 1 or 2 of those and you're feeling good, you get to the free throw line and things are rolling, then you feel more comfortable doing that. Again, he's made those. Just maybe a different situation. Of course, to your point, I'm sure he knows in the back of his mind thinking, well, we haven't had a bucket in a while. We need something to ignite this offense.
You saw that look on Andy Kennedy's face. I mean, look, Andy Kennedy is probably the most understanding coach when it comes to shot selection. I mean, he's going to give you a little bit more leeway than a lot of other coaches out there. But I think even Andy Kennedy tonight has been unhappy with some of the shots that have been hoisted up.
Well, Mike, you look at what they usually do. He allows that sort of freedom shooting the 3 because what do? They're going to get offensive rebounds, stickbacks. They're going to compete in other ways. They're going to get to the free throw line. You need high percentage shots, free throws, layups, dunks, wide open. I won't say wide open shots. We'll say non-contested jump shots.
Yes,
as
or even non-step backs.
Yeah. Give me a non-step back.
How about a step in 3 as opposed to a step back 3?
But again, it goes to how well they've shared the ball throughout the season. Good shots become great shots when you share the ball as well as they have this year, with almost 18 assists per game. Not nearly that way tonight.
Foul on Hammonds, the freshman. Speaking of great shots, Andy Kennedy was a great shooter back in his days. Parade All-American, high school standout. Started off his career at NC State. Actually played for Jim Valvano before eventually transferring to UAB.
The Dean. He had a full head of hair when he began coaching at Ole Miss. It was beautiful. It was like a ponytail, little number he had going on. It was wonderful.
Foul on Georgia. On a reach-in.
He could still have the ponytail.
Two-time SEC Coach of the Year. A school record 242 wins. I mean, when you think about it, Ole Miss basketball had a pretty rough stretch before Andy Kennedy took over. goes right through the hands of Tyree, and that has been symbolic of the night for Ole Miss, uncharacteristically turning it over and struggling from the field, shooting just 33% for the game.
I thought one of the great points that he made was they keep track of non-contested shots, open shots, if you will, and he challenges his guys. Burnett's one of them, to make 50+% on those non-contested shots. And they've had some tonight that they haven't made. And not going back to your step back three, but those are the shots that Ole Miss are typically going to make. They just hadn't made them tonight.
Maton. Rebound tracked down by Firminovic. This is Crawford. Guarded by Parker. That's going to be offensive. And that's just a frustration play by Ole Miss and Markel Crawford.
I thought Brian Tyree did a wonderful job of getting the ball up the floor so fast. Just now, the offense stops. And then you see what happens. You try to do a little bit too much, get caught in a uncomfortable situation and doing a little bit too much.
That look has been, it's been plastered on Andy Kennedy's face for much of the night. Ole Miss had a good opening win in conference play at home against South Carolina. That was a battle that came down to the end. The guy that really led them in that game has been somewhat quiet tonight. That's DeAndre Burnett. Shot clock under 5. Jackson going to have to go one-on-one here. Obede taps it up, and Obede ties it up. And the arrow goes to Georgia. That is Derek Obede, and again, when he gives you these kind of minutes, it's such a different look for Georgia overall, because as we keep pointing out, it can't just be Maton.
But I think what helps is you got Maton and Obede down there battling. Those are gigantic humans, two big bodies that you've got to account for, basically roaming that area. So one of those two guys are going to get the hand on the ball if they're both in the paint going after that offensive rebound.
Harris trying to find Maton, but almost turned it over. It'll be out of bounds to Georgia. 14 on the shot clock.
Credit Georgia's defense in this second half. A lot of Ole Miss's offensive struggles have been because they've contained the ball on the half-court dribble, and they've gotten out to shooters before they caught it. This is a catch-and-shoot team, Ole Miss. Georgia's done a great job.
Maton from 16. And another offensive rebound.
Got to shoot that with confidence, big fella. See, I'd love to see Maton catch it right at that free throw line here. Right there, spin one dribble, put him on your back. That's exactly what you want. That's a shot you want from him.
Tyree on a blow-by. Brian Tyree.
Him and Schuler play downhill.
Yes.
And they find creases almost like water. You know what I mean? Where you just don't think anything can get through there. Those guys and some liquid can get through.
Foul down low. Georgia back to the free throw line. A 10-point game in Athens.
How about Brian Tyree? No hesitation.
Kentucky, his season high was 13 points this year against Kentucky. Just a few days ago, he was 6 for 7 from the field. So Obede's really stepped up his play.
Mike, you got to love that he understands his game. When you understand your strengths and your weaknesses, you're going to become a better player. And he understands where his money is made. He's going to defensive rebound, contest shots on one end. He's going to set screens, roll, finish. He's not trying to fool him. He's trying to dunk it. And then he's battling the offensive glass. If he can't get it, he's going to tip it to Yante.
You know what I love? A big man who has no notion of shooting a three.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't even know that line exists.
Yes.
Because he does his damage in that painted area. Georgia zoning up Ole Miss.
Again, give him a different look.
Davis, Terrence Davis, explosive, and a two-hand slam.
You want a high percentage shot? You want him to take it to the basket? Terrence Davis, we've seen him score in a variety of ways, but that's probably the best way Ole Miss fans want to see him score.
And a turnover on Georgia as Harris stepped out of bounds. Davis was a great high school player. He was actually recruited by several schools to play college football, and you see this body. I mean, 6'4", locomotive, explosive. Probably could have been a quality football player, but basketball has worked out for him pretty well.
He's got gigantic hands, too. He can catch anything. Georgia out of that zone.
Another rebound for Obede. Dayton has not scored in the second half. Georgia has had another guy step up. Parker on a deep three. Speaking of stepping up.
Just when you saw that Ole Miss defense successful at pushing back the ball of Georgia. Back, further. I thought you would have saw Yante Maton again catching that free throw line area.
And Ole Miss responds on the other end. Georgia had its largest lead of 13. Now it's 11 as we near the 6-minute mark.
Let's see if Yante Maton now can pass and dive right to that free throw line area. That's where the opening's going to be.
Parker feeling it. Parker gets it.
Use every part of the rim.
Back-to-back threes by Juwan Parker. Rebels trying to respond. Jackson secures the rebound. Ole Miss in this second half from behind the arc, 0 for 8.
And if you want to see the kind of respect Coach Fox has for Yante Maton, his decision making, another great position by Obede and pass by Parker. The patience by Georgia against this Ole Miss defense. Parker says, okay, you're going to give it to me deep, get my balance ready. And again, good swing, quick swing against that zone by Georgia. Parker on balance. That thing caught every part of the rim and a little bit of the backboard. Speaking of backboard, Obede maybe take a little bit off that. Just bend the knees a little bit more, big fella. Get the elbow high. That helps you with the soft touch.
Juwan Parker came in with 3 3-pointers all year. So Obede
bent his
rattles home the second.
knees. Bent his knees there. Nice little balance and get his elbow up high.
I think Mark Fox is telling him this is the kind of play we need out of you every day, big man. I mean, if Obede is this kind of force, Georgia is a really tough team down low. Everybody knows about Mate. We've seen Claxton give him great minutes tonight.
And you still have a guy by the name of Rashawn Hammonds that you know at any point in time can explode that athleticism and his talent you saw. So there's a lot of length combined with some veteran leadership for this Georgia team to build on.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 fouls on Bruce Stevens, so he fouls out. Ole Miss just this second half, it's been choppy. Unable to hit a three. Really defensively, Georgia's been too much for him, particularly with that front court, and then Juwan Parker hitting threes. This is as good as Georgia's looked in a lot of ways. They've got some quality out of conference wins this year. That certainly will go a long way come March. Potentially Georgia, maybe we're talking about one of those bubble teams, and when you see them hitting on all cylinders like tonight, you say to yourself, maybe Georgia has what it takes to make it to the next level this year.
Well, you see that defensively right there. Did you see how they closed the gap? And you know that's something Coach Fox talked about at halftime. When that drive comes, you keep your guy in front of you, and then you help step in. And that right there, though, was just a big man catching the ball. Great job where he's most effective.
Parker trapped, finds Claxton, who threw it away.
That's just can't catch it in that corner and hold it for that long.
There's the three, and that's what Ole Miss has desperately needed. Tyree on the triple. Does Ole Miss have a monster run left in them? Under 4 minutes to play.
Georgia's got to be careful there. Okay, now the ball's in Mayton's hands. You feel good.
And Parker with a tip in. He's flirting with a double-double. Meanwhile, Davis takes it, and a rejection out of bounds by Jordan Harris. Timeout on the floor, 3:22 to play. Georgia.
Couple of three-pointers.
Feels like he's been here since the Frank Sinkwich era. Football reference coming at you. Tyree knocks down another triple. That's an 8-point game. Again, if there's one team that can overcome a large deficit in 3 minutes of time, it is Ole Miss.
They're back in that zone. Again, they're successful in pushing Georgia out.
Obede's got the answer all night long. What a performance tonight by Derek Obede.
The communication and trust in Georgia's offense right now is at an all-time high. Knowing where each other is going to be and then trusting your teammate that he's going to take care of it when he gets it to him.
Here comes Harris. Crawford determined.
I like that.
To get to the free throw line.
There you go. Head up. Good job by Parker getting it to his man who's done it from the outside. And this time getting out for an easy two. Might be the easiest 2 points he's going to have this season.
Jordan Harris, sophomore from Iron City, Georgia. Shot the ball extremely well last year and then got off to that ice-cold start this year. And everybody was saying, what's wrong with Jordan Harris? Well, he came out red hot in this ball game tonight. Just saw the emphatic slam to help polish off a good day at the office. 10-point game, a little more than 2 minutes to play. Georgia will try and bleed some clock.
So Mayton almost, he looked to the rim. He got it up. Thought he was going to shoot that.
Jackson. Here come the Rebels. Chance to cut it to 7 with a 3. Kick ball. Ole Miss will have it with a $1:45 remaining.
Well, we know that Tyree, Schuler, and Crawford are gonna play down. They're gonna come at you. They're gonna attack you, and they're good enough to do it. They get in the lane like that, or draw the D and kick it.
Collision down low, and Obede whistled for the foul. So Ole Miss gets it back, down 8, 1:28 to go. No shortage of timeouts for Ole Miss. They have a full complement. Just got to hit some shots. And all of a sudden, the Georgia crowd igniting here, try to cheer him on. Tyree again. Not that time. And Mark Fox imploring Turtle Jackson to slow it up. Do not take a quick shot. Maton kicks it out to Parker on a three. What a night for Jawan Parker.
Why not? Just great rotation, great decision by Yante Maton. Got it to him right in that shooting pocket. Good balance, taking care of it.
18 points for Parker. Schuler on a three. And Obede with another rebound. It's been the Parker Obede show in this second half. And Georgia will polish off its first conference win of the year and improve to 10-3 on the season. Parker with 18, Obede with 14 points. Maton got some help today. Georgia wins it 71-60. Pat Bradley, some final thoughts.